Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about how the development of formal organizations promotes efficiency and effectiveness. I'm going to cover 4 different theories today to show how each of these theories either supports one another or have contributed to the evolution of a once elementary theory into one more well-defined theory. First, I will talk about Chester Barnard's theory of informal and formal organizations and how Luther Gulick's theory of structure of management must consider not only what he coined as division of labor and cooperation, but also the informal organizations that exist within and help define formal organizations. Second, I want to briefly talk about the select principles of Henri Fayol's 14 Principles of Management, which I believe to have contributed to Barnard and Gulick's theory development. And last, I want to explore how these 3 theories have contributed to the evolution and modernization of Frederick Winslow Taylor's theory of scientific management and efficiency. Barnard's theory of informal versus formal organizations speaks to the development of informal organizations that are built upon a group's attitudes, understandings, and customs. He talks about how these informal organizations then become the driver by which formal organizations are formed. With an understanding of those informal organizations, we can then begin to understand the division of labor and cooperation that Gulick speaks about in his article titled Notes on the Theory of Organization. In this article, Gulick addresses the fact that we must understand the individual pieces in order to assemble the whole, meaning we must understand what the subdivision of the labor tasks are, why there is a need for the division of labor, and then we can understand how to promote cooperation and structure management in a way that will be successful for the organization as a whole. When we look back at Fayol's 14 Principles of Management, we see principles like division of labor, centralization, implying a concentration of decision-making at top management, and scalar chain, talking about hierarchy or management structure. Sound a little bit similar to structure of management? Now, look at everything together. When we understand the division of labor that contributes to the development of informal organizations, we can then begin to understand how those informal organizations influence the formal organization that is built on the principle of scalar chain. And if all of this is done successfully, you have an efficient and effective organization. The strengths of Barnard's theory of informal and formal organization lies in the fact that he understands that while an organization can form a hierarchy in a bubble, understanding the informal organizations that exist will provide for a more cohesive development of the formal organization. Where we might see some challenges is when you get into structures that constantly change in an attempt to appease the informal organizations. Gulick's theory of structure of management considers division of labor and cooperation. The strength in this theory is knowing there must be cooperation. An efficient division of labor is only as effective as the ability of those subdivisions to cooperate for the good of the organization. I thought that this imagery was perfect for why you shouldn't function in a bubble when you are preparing or structuring your organization. You really need to understand from the bottom up what is happening, and the manager can't just be the one that dictates. When you look at a real-life organizational hierarchy, for example, a council-manager form of government as used in a city, you will see how hierarchy is structured in a way that pays homage to the division of labor as shown by the city departments, cooperation throughout interdepartmental coordination, all in support of the development of a formal structure that can then implement policy and programs in support of broader goals for the city and the constituents. Attached to this presentation is a slide of my references. And thank you for your time and have a great weekend.